What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back again with another video, and today we're going to be talking about the Johnny Toronto, John Tavares signing. We're also going to be talking about some rumors around the NHL draft and free agency. It's going to be crazy. There's a lot of things going on, so stick around. We're going to have some fun here. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. We have a lot of fun on this channel. But the Maple Leafs, they've got to get some stuff going, but they did start with John Tavares. Johnny T signing a 4-year deal worth $4.38 million. Now, this is a steal, and I really want to go right to his numbers, okay? But first, we got to look at this. He is 34 years old, so by the end of this deal, he's going to be like 38, 39 years old, okay? But last year, speaking of 38 goals, 36 assists for 74 points, almost a point per game player. The year before 29, the year before 36, the year before 27, and I'm looking at goals, and you can see ever since he's become a Maple Leaf, like, he had his second highest goal total since becoming a Maple Leaf, and he did it in 75 games. Like, Tavares scored a ton of goals, and I know the playoffs and the mix and the DNA and everything like that, it's very true. But when you get a guy that scored 38 goals last year to $4.3 million, you have to take that, because you're not going to get a guy like that on the open market for that price, because it was rumored that John's price on the open market was going to be $7 to $7.5 million on a 4 to 5 year deal. The Leafs got him $3 million cheaper than that. He wants to play here. He wants to help the Maple Leafs. And the reason why he's helping is because, looking at this situation now, the Leafs have another center that can score 30 plus goals a year, okay? So there's a lot of movement that needs to be made here, and I'll show you guys in a second what I mean by that. But the Leafs have a projected cap space right now of $21 million. But like I've done before, I don't expect Ryan Reeves to be on this team. I just don't. I don't think he's going to be filling any spot. I don't believe David Kampf and Calle Jarnkrok will be on this team. I don't know if it'll be both or one of them, but I would imagine at least that David Kampf would not be a part of this team. And the reason why I say that is because I just don't think the Maple Leafs can afford to keep this guy on the squad. So just for the sake of this video, I'm not saying this is what's actually going to happen, but that's just a deal that I think will eventually happen. Not with Anaheim, not for whatever. I'm just saying, for money-wise, that would give you $24 million to go out there and find spots. Now, you have to imagine one of those spots will likely go to Easton Cowan. And I'm not saying these are what the lines will look like, but you also going to have Matthew Knies, who's going to take a chunk out of that $23 million now with Easton Cowan up. And we're going to talk about Knies in this video as well. But the Maple Leafs do have money to play with. And with Tavares taking that small of a contract, if the Leafs want to get into the trade market for another centerman, you could move Tavares to the third line, and now all of a sudden you've got a 30-goal guy as a centerman on your third line, probably playing with an Easton Cowan, and potentially, I don't know, you can put Calle Jarnkrok on the third line if he sticks around. Maybe you re-sign Steven Lorentz and you throw him on that line. That's a guy that I think the Leafs should explore bringing back. Maybe a Max Pacioretty. The Leafs have options, okay, and they're gonna spend a lot of money. And what I want to say is in regards to Matthew Knies, this is where it's gonna get a little bit difficult, because now that Tavares is signed and the money's been signed and everybody's heard about it, and that's why I didn't want to go too in depth on Johnny T. There's some talks that it's slow progress, okay, slow progress between the Leafs and Knies. They seem to be focused on a 5-year term, because if it's true that the Knies camp on an 8-year deal, wants $10+ million, that's a little crazy. But let me play devil's advocate here, okay? So if the Knies contract ends up coming in at around $7.5 million on a 5-year term, will I be happy about that? Not really. I'll be happy that Knies is signed, but that's a pretty hefty price to pay for a guy that's only a couple years into the NHL. And again, I'll get back to my devil's advocate theory in a second, but he's 22 years old, okay? He's got one season where he almost touched 30 goals and nearly 60 points. I don't think the Maple Leafs should be shelling out that much money for him. I thought if he was on, an 8-year deal, he would fetch $7 million for 8 years. But this is where I'm starting to think on both sides. So one side of me, like I said, is like, whoa, how come he's going to get paid so much money after basically only being, a full couple years in the NHL? Now, mind you, Matthew Knies is a playoff performer. He performs really well. He's physical. He does a lot of really good things. He gets in your face. I'm praying, and I know it sounds crazy, that Brad Marchand comes to this team, because I think him and Knies could do some dangerous stuff together, and Brad could teach him his ways. But the other side of me looks at the salary cap, okay? And this is where, please, if you're going to listen to anything in this video, I'm just playing devil's advocate. This is the reason why some players are going to be getting overpaid significantly in this year's free agency, and I think people need to be prepared for it. In like 3 or 4 years, the salary cap is going to be like $115 to $120 million. And 6 or 7 years from now, it's going to be like 130 plus million at least. Okay. The salary cap is going up substantially. So players like Matthew Knies, their agents are going, look, in 8 years, his contract, if you sign him for $7 million, is going to be a significant underpay, because people that score like him are going to be getting 10 plus million, if not more. There's going to be contracts given out to players like McDavid and, the best players in the world, like a McKinnon, that in 6 or 7 years might be $18 to $20 million. And you think I'm crazy, but come back to this, okay? I'm going to be in my like mid to late 30s by that time, which is crazy. The contracts are going to be wild. So what people are doing now with these contracts is going, look, my player wants to sign for 3 or 4 years so he can cash out again and get way more than that in 4 years. And I get it. It makes sense. But from a team perspective, you're like, damn, I really wish that we could have got this guy to an 8-year deal at like 7.5 to 8 million instead of them asking for 10 plus million, because it's been rumored out there that the Knies camp wants like 10.5 million over 8 years. That's crazy. Like, that's a big number for a guy that hasn't even scored 30 goals yet and hasn't played a full length 82 games in the NHL. He's been close, but it's like, okay, we got to be careful here. The Leafs can't spend too much money to the point where they can't add other players. We're not running it back with the same team. Marner's going to be gone. He's not coming back. We just re-signed Tavares. Our blue line is probably going to stay the same. The Morgan Rielly stuff, we're going to keep getting into that because, again, Nick Kiprio said yesterday that the Leafs and Rielly might have to come to a conclusion that both sides need to part ways. And for people in the comments, there's a couple people that are like, stop talking about Rielly. He's not waving. Look, guys, Wayne Gretzky was traded. Everybody can get traded. No move clauses. It's happened a million times. People can get traded. If Morgan Rielly starts to get fed up that his name is in trade rumors, he'll leave. And I'm not saying he should, but it's possible. The Leafs have to get creative here. And going out there and re-signing Knies is the smart thing to do, so hopefully they do that soon. By the time this video's out, maybe they'll re-sign him. But the Leafs have a lot of people that are on the trade block right now. Brandon Carlo, which I don't agree with. Nick Robertson has been in trade rumors. Again, your Yarn Croaks, your David Camps, your Ryan Reeves, Morgan Rielly. Like, the Leafs have moving pieces. I'm interested to see what they do. Second day of the draft is today, the day I'm recording this and the day I'm posting this. So what are they going to do? And I want you guys to comment that down below. The Leafs need to do something big. They need to address their forward group. They need to get physical. I don't expect them to go too crazy with trades to bring in big contracts because I think they want to get Knies done. And I ultimately think they want to get Brad Marchand done on July 1st if he's out there. So we'll have to see what happens. The Leafs are going to be very creative. They are. So let me know what you guys think. If you're new here, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Join the squad. What are the Leafs going to do come free agency? What are they going to do today? I love you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.